Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday night. I am back tonight for another episode of CarnivorousGrama Speaks. My name is Robyn Herron, and I am your nutrition certified health coach. And also, I am your Carnivorous Grandma. So I'm glad to be back with you guys again tonight to have another conversation. I'm live here on YouTube and Facebook and also TikTok. So, hey, everybody, so glad to see you guys tonight. Please go ahead and drop in the comments where you guys are watching from. I wanted to tell you guys about this one thing that has been so cool, and that is I recently partnered with Epic Water Filters. And you guys, this is my ball jar. I went in the cabinet and I'm like, okay, do you have just a regular old glass? No, ma'am. I do not. I have a ball jar. So I'm drinking tap water because I got a new water filter and it goes under the sink. So I don't know if you guys realize this, but I have 11 grandkids, right? And of those 11, 5 are living here in the house with us now. And so I want them to be able to drink water out of the tap, but I was concerned about all of the chemicals and everything that's in the water. So I never drink tap water. I always get bottled water. Of course, I have some concerns about microplastics and stuff like that in the bottled water. I like to get my San Pellegrino in a glass bottle, which is very nice. But basically, I got this new water filter. So I'm excited because I'm able to drink the tap water and it tastes really good. It's really, really clean. And this water filter is by Epic Water Filters. And so if you guys want to check that out, it's at epicwaterfilters.com. And my coupon code, if you guys want to purchase one, is CarnivorousGrama. So I wanted to just mention that tonight because I'm excited to be able to drink tap water. I have not drank tap water in years because it just tastes awful. It tastes awful, right? So, but now it tastes good. It's clean. So check out epicwaterfilters.com. All right. So let's get into tonight's topic. I really was thinking about, as you guys may or may not know, I am a carnivore, meaning I primarily eat meat-based products. I eat meat and meat-based products. I really only pretty much eat meat because I have found that I have a lot of different sensitivities to foods and plants and vegetables and dairy. And I'm just like, I cannot have hardly anything. And my family is funny because they say to me, maybe you should stop like giving up stuff because you're getting more and more sensitive to everything as you go along. Well, I think I was already sensitive, but as it turns out, I'm finding out all the different things I'm sensitive to. So I don't do dairy. I actually did try some sour cream over this weekend. So I never had a problem with sour cream. Sour cream was okay. I could use it. But I had some yesterday and this morning I woke up with my hands itching. So I have eczema. Dyshydrotic eczema on the hands, particularly that presents itself as like blisters that boil up from beneath the skin. It's really, really awful. It's so itchy and causes a lot of problems. It can be debilitating, actually. My hands were so covered in eczema that I literally lost my fingerprints and my whole palms peeled off. If you guys want to check out my video on YouTube, you can check out the videos where I show what my hands looked like back in the day when I was just eating everything. I was trying to eat a standard American diet. I tried keto, and keto was amazing for weight loss. But the only thing that ever really touched the eczema is the carnivore diet. And so I've been doing carnivore for 2.5 years. I recently launched my coaching practice. So I'm excited about that and looking forward to working with some of you who might be considering looking at a ketogenic way of living, whether it be keto, ketovore, carnivore, lion diet, whatever you might want to try to eliminate some of your health issues. So Tonight, I want to talk about supplementation because I'm eating only meat, right? I'm only eating meat. And I'm not eating any plants. So that what does that mean? That means I'm not having any vegetables. I'm not having any fruits at all. And in fact, some of the times when I've tried over this course of this 2.5 years to try to incorporate a little bit of fruit, or not fruit, a little bit of plant materials. So like I've tried broccoli, I tried cauliflower, which seemed benign, right? I even accidentally got a little bit of lettuce, and all of this stuff caused my skin to just boil. Or it also caused my anxiety to flare up. So I was really, really struggling with anxiety before I went carnivore. So I mean, debilitating anxiety, not like, I'm just a little nervous, or I was like not going to be able to live my normal life. So hey everybody, welcome in. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. Let me know where you're watching from in the comments. And we're going to talk about supplementation tonight, because I know that if you are exploring a meat-based way of eating, you may be concerned with getting vitamins and nutrients, right? So people say, well, how are you going to get your X vitamin or Y mineral when you're just eating meat, right? And so I want to talk about the supplementation in general. And then I'm also going to talk a little bit about the supplementation that I do and why I do certain supplements, why I do take certain supplements. So we're going to talk about why would you need to supplement? What are things that I consider to be must-haves? What are on the maybe list? Like you could potentially use this if you needed to. What are your money wasters? Like you don't even need to bother with trying to utilize this necessarily. And then, and then we'll take a look at what supplements that I take. Okay. So why would you supplement at all? Because carnivore is like the most nutrient dense, bioavailable way to eat. It's very, very the way the cows and the animals, well, particularly ruminant animals. So when I say ruminant animals, I'm talking about cows, lamb, bison, goat, anything that has a multi-chambered stomach and is able to chew the cud. They basically chew the grasses and they regurgitate that, and then they continue to chew it. They call it chewing the cud, right? And they basically process like a lot of the toxins, a lot of the bad elements out of those plants. And then they make beautiful meat for us. And so what that does is in the meat, it becomes very bioavailable to your body, the vitamins that are in the meat. So why would you need to bother with supplement? So animal foods are the gold standard in bioavailable nutrition. So you're not an animal that chews cud. You're not an animal that has multi-chambered stomachs and is not able to process plants in the way that an animal who has a 4-chambered stomach can. You just can't. And then you're not able to process out some of the toxins that are in the plants, in the plant matter, right? So, there's other things that are factors that are at play. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but you probably have heard about the fact that our soil has been depleted of its vitamins and minerals. So even in the vegetables that we're getting in those crops, the soil is so depleted that the vitamins and minerals they're just not in the food the way that they used to be. Something called feedlot farming. This lowers the omega-3 levels in meat compared to wild or grass-fed meat, beef. So if you guys hear a lot about grass-fed or, animals that are grazed on the farm, or animals that are, you always hear about these cage-free animals, those kinds of things. When you have an animal that's inside and being fed just in a trough, it's not able to get some of those nutrients that whatever would be left, right? And then also it's going to be lower in omega-3s. Lifestyle factors. So there are lifestyle factors that can cause you to need to supplement. Hey, G-Ball Development. And hey, let's see, we got Nita, we got UXI, and we got Mott, we got Jocelyn, Karen, Courtney, Cheryl, Megan, Javad, Jules, and Susan B, Brian Herrick, Sharon Gray, Sleepyhead. Hey, Sleepyhead, I love that name. We got user 776, the Predators, Pete Knight. So many people. Thank you, TikTok. I'm glad that you are here. Let me know where you guys are watching from down in the comments. So lifestyle factors like stress. Like, who in here is not stressed out? I continue to be stressed out even on carnivore. Aging, medications. If you're on medications, that can also reduce your ability to absorb nutrients. And so, that is a factor that could be playing into the fact that you're not able to absorb nutrients the way that you could or would want to. And then environmental factors like we don't get enough sun. I mean, at least here in Michigan, the last few days has been sunny and beautiful. I've been walking outside. I've been trying to remember to take my glasses off, let the sun get in my eyes, so that I can get that vitamin D. But we do in general get less sun. And then, as I just mentioned, we're filtering our water, and we're drinking a lot of bottled water. And so those things can be problematic. So supplements are not replacement for food. And again, meat, particularly ruminant meat, is going to be the most bioavailable, nutrient-dense food that you can eat. And so, do you take any supplements? If you do, let me know down in the chat, like what supplements are you taking? And are you on carnivore? I'm curious to know how many carnivores do we have in here. If you are a carnivore, go ahead and drop put a thumbs up in the chat. All right. So let's talk about the supplements that I do recommend. And so I want to talk first of all about electrolytes. So particularly if you are if you're like new to a carnivore way of eating or a ketogenic way of eating, let's say you're a ketovore or even on keto or low carb, you may need to supplement with electrolytes. So I do have a box of electrolytes here. This is Element, LMNT. And this Element has now, don't freak out, you guys, okay? Don't freak out. It has 1,000 milligrams of sodium. And why would we need like so much salt, right? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. This is the raw unflavored. The reason I have raw unflavored is because basically I'm doing a 90-day sweet-free challenge. So I'm not having any sweets at all. I am having no sweeteners. So no Splenda, no Truvia, no liquid sucralose, no stevia, no nothing for 90 days. So I am using Element. Now I know that there's a little bit of controversy around Element, actually a lot of controversy. People were freaking out about Element because of the maltodextrin. This is the raw unflavored, so it doesn't have that. And so this is what I use. Now, you think about this. If you were to go to the emergency room today, I'm trying to see if I can see comments in TikTok. I'm still learning TikTok. If you're commenting and I don't see it, I'm sorry. But if you were to go to the emergency room today with dehydration or with anything, and they were going to do something with you, and besides send you home, the first thing that they're going to do is put you on a saline drip. Why is that? It's because most of us are severely dehydrated. So we're drinking water. Some of us are drinking a ton of water, like we're drinking a gallon of water a day, or we're trying to get as much water as we can. We're really doing that to try to hydrate. But if you really want to be hydrated, you need to have electrolytes. So when you're going on carnivore or you're going on a ketogenic diet, ketogenic way of eating, your body is going to flush out electrolytes in inflammation. So we've got so much stuff stored in our cells. I'm going to come back. We'll have another show about that, because basically that inflammation, as it's leaving your body through urination, you're going to also be flushing out your electrolytes. So we want to supplement with electrolytes. Now, some people don't. Some people do not supplement with electrolytes. But if you're having any issues like Charlie horses, does anybody get that? And leg cramps, muscle cramps. Sometimes I'm just laying in the bed and I'll stretch and my leg will cramp up, my feet. Have you ever had your toes just like go? It is the worst. It is so bad. And so basically, this is going to help with that. It's going to allow the water that you're drinking to actually get into the cells and actually hydrate your body. So I want you guys to consider a book called The Salt Fix, because basically we are undersalted. We have been told that salt is the culprit. Have you guys been told that salt is the culprit? But salt is not the culprit. Do we know what the culprit actually is that's causing us to be so sick? It's sugar. Yeah. So salt is getting blamed for what sugar did. And when you go next time you look at your salt shaker, if you guys get the Umbrella Girl salt, or if you get another brand of salt that comes in a container, look at the back of the salt and see, does it have sugar in it? Because they're putting sugar in the salt. Now, why would they do that? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Why would they put sugar in the salt? And so look at your salt. See, does it have dextrose in it? Or it might say anti-caking agent. And so that is a sugar that they're putting in salt. So salt is getting blamed for a lot of things that it didn't do. But so element or another electrolyte. I have some salty here. This is by Keto Chow. Salty is a really good one. This is a flavored one. It's called blue slushies. Oh my gosh. When I get done with my 90 days sweets free, I'm going to have this, and it has stevia in it. And so, yeah, I do enjoy my salty electrolytes, but for now we're sticking with the Element raw unflavored. So G-Ball Development says, I'm carnivore, but I take Element electrolytes, iodine, omega-3s, CoQ10, zinc, and vitamin D. All right, that's good. Awesome. We're going to talk a little bit about vitamin D. So let's just review that, right? So why you need to take an electrolyte. Carnivore is a natural diuretic. It's going to allow you to, y'all remember the thing, it's called water weight. They used to say, I'm retaining water. They might still say that. Or you have to take a water pill because you're retaining water. But carnivore, ketovore, keto, all are natural diuretics. So sometimes when you go on one of these low carbohydrate, ketogenic ways of eating, you will get something they call the keto flu or the carnivore flu. This is completely avoidable. You do not actually need to suffer with that. In fact, if you take your electrolytes from day one, you're not likely to get that keto flu at all. So when it's a natural diuretic, that means that you're flushing out your electrolytes and you need to replenish those. And so you can do that also with a good quality salt. You don't necessarily have to go and spend, this box is like over $30, close to $40. It's expensive. Like, why do we need to spend so much money on on the supplementation? You can actually just use a good quality real salt. I use Redmond's real salt. I'm sorry, I didn't bring that in here with me. Redmond's real salt, but you could also use a sea salt, a Celtic salt or Celtic salt, however you want to call it. And add that to your water, and that will do the same thing. So, you're going to want to make sure that you're salting your food. Now, listen, there are carnivores out here who do not use salt at all. I think if you listen to Dr. Anthony Chaffee, hopefully everybody knows who that is, Dr. Anthony Chaffee. I don't think he uses salt at all. I think he's actually gone away from that. But what I'm saying to you is that you do not need to fear the salt. you need to be getting enough sodium to stay hydrated. Potassium is mostly going to be covered by your meat. And again, your body tightly regulates these electrolytes, potassium and magnesium. Your body tightly regulates that. So don't worry that you're going to get too much, but it's mostly going to be covered by your meat. You might need a little bit more. And then magnesium, we can consider this is 60 milligrams of magnesium. I do utilize another magnesium supplement that allows me, because sometimes I have trouble sleeping. If you guys know me, I call my sleep trash. I shouldn't say that because I need to like manifest better sleep, right? So that is your electrolytes. I recommend, if you're starting a carnivore way of eating, that you definitely do utilize electrolytes to avoid being dehydrated and avoid getting Charlie horses. Now, there's a couple of other things that I've heard that you can do, like you could drink a little bit of pickle juice. You could drink a little bit of like sauerkraut juice to help if you have Charlie horses and stuff like that. So that's something that you could do, but I don't use any plants. In fact, sometimes I might use a little bit of apple cider vinegar here and there. And then I was using my Redmond's Real Seasoned Salt. So if you guys watch any of my cooking videos, you'll see that Redmond's Real Seasoned Salt there. That stuff tastes like gold. I literally love it. It's so, so good. But right now, I'm not doing any plant, except for the ones I want to talk to you guys about. All right. So the second supplement that I want to talk about with you guys is vitamin D3 plus K2. D3 plus K2. Okay. So a lot of us are deficient in vitamin D. A lot of it, because we don't get enough sunlight. We're not out in the sun, and we don't get a lot of good exposure to the sun. So the odds are that you are low. So how many of you guys have had your vitamin D checked? If you have, let me know by dropping a check in the comments. And so, why would we add K2 to that, though? That's the thing. You might have seen some of these videos. I've been seeing them on my social media where they're saying something like, why would your doctor prescribe vitamin D for you without K2? Because your body is going to struggle to incorporate that vitamin D. The D3 plus the K2 allows your body to be able to absorb the vitamin D. Did you guys know that? I did not know that. I was taking 10,000 IU of vitamin D for quite a while. And actually, it did help a lot with my vitamin D levels. But basically, the K2 makes sure that calcium gets into the bones and not get stuck in the arteries. That's a key thing. We don't want calcium stuck in our arteries. So D3 supports your immune and hormone health, and K2 makes sure that the calcium goes into the bones and not the arteries. So if you are taking vitamin D3 and you do not have this combined with K2, I do recommend that you add the K2 to it, because you definitely want that, you want the stuff to go where it's supposed to go. So this one right here is Deal Supplement brand. I picked it up on Amazon. It's a D3 plus K2. D is 5,000 IU, K is 1,000 micrograms, and there's 250 of them in here. So this is something that you could consider. Get your labs though, guys. Make sure that you know your labs. And when you get your labs, like in my last lab panel, my doctor did not run a D3, a vitamin D check on me. And so the next time I go for labs, I'm going to make sure that we get that, because I really do want to know how am I doing with my vitamin D, because vitamin D was low. Okay. So then we got omega-3s. So if your diet is high in poultry, or low in seafood, I would say that my diet is definitely low in seafood. I do eat some seafood sometimes, but basically I don't probably eat enough. One thing is that my daughter is here, and I said this at the beginning of the show, is that my daughter is here. She's got 5 kids, and my daughter is extremely allergic to fish. Like, we cannot have fish in the house. I can have some shrimp in here, but I'm afraid to even bring like a piece of salmon in here and cook it in the house, because she's extremely, extremely allergic to it. And she like, I mean, have to go to the emergency room type of allergic. So I don't do fish very often. I might do it sometimes when I go out, but not enough. So omega-3s might be something. The other thing that I will do is sometimes I will have sardines. As I do enjoy sardines. How many of you guys enjoy sardines? I really like them. I really, really like them. So sardines with hot sauce are really good, or sardines with mustard are really good. You can do that. Salmon is good. Fish oil supplement could be helpful for those omega-3s. The next one is going to be iodine. If you're not doing seafood, dairy, or eggs. Now, this is kind of me because I'm eating very small amounts of eggs. I really feel like I have a sensitivity to the egg white. When it's the liquid white that's off of the egg. Like, I can do the dried egg white protein. I've not had any issues with that, but I really feel like egg whites itself gives me some trouble. So if you're not doing any of those, and then plus, if you think about Dr. Elizabeth Bright, if you guys have heard of her, Dr. Elizabeth Bright says that we are all deficient in iodine. Now, I think I posted up here. So I was ramping up on iodine, and I got up really, really high on my iodine. And in fact, I think I got way too high on my iodine, and somebody called it out. I don't know who it was. Somebody in my chat said, hey, over there, what are you doing? How much iodine are you taking? You know, and so I did kind of cut back, and now I've cut all the way back, and actually I've cut it out for a time because I was having some other different issues. But iodine supports your thyroid health, and so you know you can do seaweed. Seaweed, I'm not recommending seaweed because it's a plant. And then it calls for like iodized salt, but iodized salt is going to be the salt that has the sugar in it, so I'm not recommending that. And then the iron drops, which are iodine drops, which are you can just put a couple of drops in I do it in my coffee, or I'll do it in a different kind of a drink. So if you're a person that eats seafood regularly, give me a little fish. Oh, G-Ball Development hates sardines. They're good. One of my friends was telling me that if you can get fresh sardines, they're supposed to be really, really good. So maybe when you try to find the fresh sardines, I've never seen them in my area, but that might be something that we could consider. So as far as must-haves, those are my 4, right? So electrolytes, vitamin D3 plus K2. Make sure you're getting the K2 in there. Omega-3s and iodine. So those are the 3. All right. So eBacon is saying I'm allergic to fish as well. Yeah, my daughter is like go into anaphylaxis. It's terrible. We have stopped doing fish in the house since she and her kids moved in. All right. Let's talk about maybes, like what things that are something that you could consider if you need to, or if you think you need to. So these are not required for everyone, but they could be useful depending on your lifestyle. So creatine. All right. Creatine is already in red meat, but I know that I've heard Dr. Anthony Chafee talking about creatine and how beneficial that can be. So an extra 3 to 5 grams could help with strength, brain, and recovery, especially if you're over 40. I was just in Costco the other day and I was looking at the creatine supplement. I didn't pick it up this time, But, it's talking about brain health. And if you know me, you know that I am very concerned with brain health. I want to make sure that I, live my life with my full capacity. And so creatine could also could help with that. Another one is collagen or glycine. So, are you guys eating anything that is that is huge in collagen? I have a video coming out, you guys. You're gonna be like, that looks crazy. But I cooked this past week beef cheeks. Have you guys ever heard of that? Beef cheeks? I was out at the farm and they had it, and it looked so fatty. In fact, it had so much fat on it, had way more fat than any other piece of meat that I've picked up. And when I cooked it, the texture was so firm. It was really, really good, but it had a ton of collagen. And it's like, okay, so I needed to dissolve it back down, put it on a flat pan and cut it up into little bites so that I can eat it, because it's very, very collagen rich. So if you're not eating any connective tissue, do you guys eat gristle? That's a good thing. Do you guys do bone broth? Bone broth is really, really good. And do you eat your skin? I hope y'all are eating the skin off the chicken. If y'all eating chicken thighs, I hope you're eating the skin, because that's the best part. This collagen and glycine helps with joints and skin health, and also can help with hair and nails. So I've been taking collagen for literally years. And that's something that it's just been in my way of eating for a long, long time. Actually, as a matter of fact, when I was on keto, I lost a lot of hair. My hair used to be really, really thick, but I lost a lot of hair, and I started doing collagen probably about maybe 12 years ago. So I've been doing collagen for a long time. So digestive enzymes like betaine or betaine HCI can be helpful during transition if you struggle with fat digestion or low stomach acid. So I just picked up this supplement. This is gallbladder formula. As I mentioned, I was taking probably more iodine than I needed. And so I had to back way off on the iodine. Right now, I'm not taking it at all for the last few days. But because I was having a little bit of digestive issues, sorry, my dog's in the background. Oops. I thought I would try this. I got this recommendation from Laura at Healthy Carnivore. If you guys don't know her, Healthy Carnivore. This is Dr. Berg's gallbladder support formula, and she recommended this. And so I got that. So if you're having digestive issues, now I wish I would have known this when I first started Carnivore, really. Honestly, I wish I would have known it, because I had diarrhea for 30 days. On my first 30 days of Carnivore, I had diarrhea, and I had no idea how to fix it except to try to wait it out. I knew I was going to do 90 days of Carnivore when I first started 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago. And if I would have not decided that in advance, I probably would not be still on Carnivore, because that was terrible. But get yourself a digestive supplement if you're having that issue. And so that's something that you can do, especially during your transition. If you're having, because, Carnivore is a high fat way of eating. And so is keto. So just keep that in mind. But definitely, you might have some issues. Sorry, my dog's barking. Kids around. Hey, enough. Sorry about that. So anyway, digestive enzymes could help. Organ capsules. So I just was looking in my cabinet, and guess what I found? Dr. Kills' Health. This is a grass-fed organ meat blend. So if you do not eat organ meats, you don't eat liver, and you don't eat brains, you don't eat kidneys, you don't eat any of the organ meats, you can supplement with a grass-fed or an organ meat blend. And so that is something that I have in my cabinet. Am I taking it? No, I'm not. I do enjoy liver. In fact, I picked some up when I was at the farm last weekend, And but if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to eat any organs, then you can go ahead and pick up some organ capsules. And then so those are the ones that I'm saying are like maybes. You could maybe do that. There's some other things like probiotics. I don't really recommend probiotics necessarily. But if you have had to take an antibiotic for any reason, you might need a probiotic to support your gut health, but your gut will adapt. It will adapt naturally. So you don't necessarily need to do that. Now, let's see. Does anybody else want to drop in the chat? What supplements are you taking? So many people have come in. I see E Bacon in the chat. I see Z, Sandra, Luann Cannon, Tukivo, Keisha, Sexy Joy, Tabby, Nelly, Maggie, Abigail, Rebecca, Sandra, Esther, welcome. Phyllis, Lady Luna, I'm so glad that you're here. Anna Moore, Antonio, so glad that you guys are here with me tonight. Thank you for joining me on my live stream. All right, let's talk about money wasters. Like, you do not need this. This is the one that I just went and pulled out of my cabinet. This is a multivitamin, right? Completely unnecessary. How many of us are taking a multivitamin? I'm not judging you, I promise. But you do not need a multivitamin because most of those are plant-based or synthetic and they're poorly absorbed. They're basically expensive pee, like you're going to pee them out. And so I do not recommend a multivitamin. There are some vitamins that are being marketed specifically to Black women. It's a Black-owned business, and I'm not bashing them, but you don't need a multivitamin, okay? That's something that you don't need. Fiber supplements. How many of us have been told that you need fiber in order to poop? How many of us have been told that? It is a fallacy. It is not the truth. I have not had fiber in over 2.5 years and have no problems in that area. You do not need fiber. Now, I was just talking to a person the other day, and I was having a conversation. I know that people are like, I could never do a meat only way of eating, but you could. And but what about, meat makes my stomach hurt? I would like you to consider the idea that it's not the meat that's making your stomach hurt, but it's the fiber. It's the fiber that's making your stomach hurt, right? So fiber, and I will tell you this, I heard this from Dr. Kiltz and it's stuck in my brain. Fiber is like a Brillo pad going through your colon. Can you imagine what that is like going through your colon? It is just ripping your colon to shreds. It's causing things like leaky gut and all kinds of issues inside of the colon. So you do not need fiber. When you eat a meat-based way of eating, you will go to the bathroom. You will have normal bowel movements. Like I said, I had 30 days of trouble. I did need a little bit of supplementation, but I wasn't aware of it back at that time. And, but ultimately, fiber is not required for bowel movements. Greens powders, waste of money, zero benefit. If you're on carnivore, you do not need that. Even if you're not on carnivore, you do not need those greens powders, green smoothies. I've been seeing a lot of commercials on my social media for these different greens supplements. You don't need them. And then what about detox teas or powders? These are just marketing. It's all just marketing hype. There's no science to the facts that you need a detox. If you want to do a detox, do an elimination diet for 30, 60, 90 days and eat an animal-based way of eating, and you will find out how amazing you can actually feel. So have you ever bought a supplement that you later realized was a waste of money? Yes, I have. This is that multivitamin. I mean, I definitely think I was taking it at some point because there's not that many left in here, and they stink. Ugh, they stink. They smell really bad. So yeah, it was a waste of money. Basically, some expensive pee. So, let's see. Let's make sure that we get our labs. And so, we don't need to guess about whether or not we need supplementation. We can definitely get some labs run and find out if you need it. So, your vitamin D level is something that you want to have checked and see where you are with it. I know I was very deficient before. And like I said, I was taking 10,000 IU of vitamin D and it did help. But the concern is, I want to make sure that everything is going where it needs to go. So get the D3 plus K2 and make sure everything goes where it's supposed to go. You can get your magnesium and potassium checked. You can get a thyroid panel. You can also get an omega-3 index. You need to know your labs. Do you know your A1C? Have you had your fasting insulin drawn so that you know, like, when I'm not eating, what is my insulin doing? And so get that lab panel done and get your carnivore coach to read it. If you want me to be your coach, let me know, because I just launched my coaching practice and I'm excited to work with you. So basically, I want to talk about the supplementation. What else do I take as far as supplementation is concerned? So, as I said, I was doing the iodine. I've stopped iodine for the moment. I do have this gallbladder support formula. I have my D3K2. I also have magnesium that I take. And then I have this nootropic. It's called Keto Brains Nootropic. Let me see if I can get this so it can show. Keto Brains Nootropic. Now, this is it's a coffee creamer. And I really, really like it. So this is something that I use because of the brain benefits. It's got alpha GPG, it's got lion's mane, L-theanine, and C8 MCT oil. And so, as far as plants are concerned, this is one of the only plant things. So this and coffee are the two things that I'm still doing that are plant related right now. This has 4 carbohydrates. And so, but I choose to use it because of the brain benefits, because in my family runs Alzheimer's, dementia, and I'm just I'm not trying to go that road. So Carnivore is helping with that. And then I'm using this supplement, which is called Keto Brains Nootropic. And so that's something that I really, really like. Other than that, I'm not really doing too much other supplementation. Some of the things I just haven't sitting in my cabinet and I'm not really utilizing them. So, I will be interested to hear from you guys. What are you doing as far as supplementation is concerned? We know that, again, that the carnivore way of eating, a meat-based way of eating, is going to be your best bet when it comes to nutrient bioavailability and your body being able to utilize the vitamins and minerals that are coming out of the food. When we eat a high plant-based diet, we do not get that same thing. Just think about the fact that you never see meat in the toilet, but you do see plants. If you eat plants, you do see that stuff passing through your body just whole, almost the same way that it went in. So it's because it's not bioavailable. We can't process it. We don't have the proper stomach apparatus in order to be able to process that effectively. So if you are having gaps in your supplementation, for instance, you need electrolytes, you need vitamin D, make sure that you take a quality, target the things that you actually need. Otherwise, you're just making expensive pee. And don't fall for hype. Like, they're going to target you with some marketing like, oh, this thing is so amazing for women, or this thing is so amazing for Black people. This thing is so amazing for whatever your demographic might be. That marketing is going to be out there trying to tell you how great it is. And you really just don't need it. And then do your tests, get your labs drawn, see where you are and what you actually need. And then, of course, I'm not a doctor, so you're going to want to consult with your physician in order to get your best medical advice. So, do you guys have any questions? I don't see any questions or comments in the chat. So I'm going to wrap it up tonight. I really appreciate you guys being with me. Once again, I did launch my coaching practice. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, you can IM me, send me a message. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, I'm going to scroll my I'll scroll my email across for you. Let's see, here you go. So you can email me and let me know. We can talk about it. See whether or not Carnivorous Grandma coaching is for you. It's really gonna be amazing. I'm super excited. It's a two-part, 2 steps, actually 3. But the first step is going to be an initial discovery session where we're going to talk about your goals, talk all about you, what's going on with your body, what kind of medications are you on, what is your why, because that is a big factor. Like, why do you need or want to do something different with your lifestyle? And then we have a 90-day on-ramp that's going to get you on board with whatever plan it is that you have decided is going to be most effective for you, which is going to be some kind of a low-carb ketogenic lifestyle. All right, you guys, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I just came from a girls' conference this weekend. It was really, really awesome, with about 9 or 10 young ladies, and that was fantastic. We had a great time. And so tomorrow is our youth day at church, and I'm excited to see what the kids are going to do. So I hope everybody has a great night tonight. Thank you so much for being with me tonight on CarnivorousGrama Speaks. I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.